Welcome back to another episode of the Boys on the Field podcast, sponsored by Offside Boys. I'm your host for today, Ben Griffith. I'm joined by Anthony Santia, Anthony Lancione, and Ethan Gabor. Boys, how are we doing?
Not too bad, you know. Weather's supposed to be getting nicer, but it's a lie. It's actually cold as hell. So, you know, TFC doing TFC things. Yeah, life.
Yeah. Hey, we got through the homestand. There's no more Saturday 1 o'clock games here. Heading down to BMO Field for a while, and hey, less than a month to go till greatest event of our lifetime. So starting to ramp up for that. Getting excited, boys.
Yeah, well, the weather is certainly looking like the state of TFC right now. Absolute shite. Can't wait for that to get nicer. Then, yeah, definitely World Cup, summer vibes, patios, maybe some beers.
Can't wait.
Ooh,
Maybe.
those
I don't drink.
maybe. Yeah, oh yeah, I know. Never,
Beers.
never touched that
Be-
in my life.
Beers? Never heard of it. So we last time we had the pod, we were coming off the back of a pretty disappointing loss in the Canadian Championship, 3-1 to Atletico Ottawa. But all of our attention was turned to the following game, which was the Inter Miami TFC game at BMO Field. Unfortunately, I had to work that day, the biggest crowd in TFC's history, and I wasn't able to go. But I believe at least Ethan was there.
hmm
So maybe we'll start with that. Actually, you know what? No, guys, let's start with the game before that. Another exciting game the day before at BMO Field. Before we get into Miami, maybe we should do it chronologically. The TFC Brazil Legends game. All three of you were there, right?
I
Two
were
of
you there,
us.
Tones? Me and
I
Two,
Santia
work.
two,
were
or
there.
three. So how was that? What were the vibes like? How was the crowd? I mean, the football looked fun. Jimmy Brennan's birthday. What was that like?
You know what? Honestly, it was I didn't really know what to expect going into it. Again, it's a bunch of retired guys and the TFC legends term was used quite loosely as Jay Chapman was playing most of the game, but honestly, it was a pretty fun time, I won't lie. The crowd was super lively. It felt very much like a celebration more than anything else, which I think was sort of a bit of a nice change of pace from what we're used to at BMO Field over the last little while. And for the first time in a long time, I went to BMO not really stressed and not worrying or caring about what happened on the pitch. It was just an overall fun event. It was, it had some cringe moments in it as you would expect, but overall it was very cool to see. And obviously, getting to see Ronaldinho live, even in his current state, still something that I can always say now. So that was fun. Josie, Giovinco both scored. It was just a fun event overall. I was really happy and had a great time.
Yeah, seeing Ronaldinho live, you know, post-prison Ronaldinho is incredible. The guy was whipping out all of his tricks. You could tell for the first little bit Brazil wasn't trying.
No.
I mean, as they should, you know, like if they were trying, this easily would have been 15-0. I think so. It started off with Giovinco scoring first. So I think as soon as Giovinco scored, Brazil was like, "All right, let's play some soccer." It was really funny because the one Brazilian guy that or the one guy that wasn't Brazilian was probably the best looking guy
Best
there,
player,
Ricardo
yeah.
Quaresma, the Portuguese guy.
I was
Dude,
saying that when you sent me the video of the goal, I was like, why is he even playing?
yeah,
They
you're
needed
like, what the
numbers.
fuck? Yo, it was so funny because when they announced him too, they were just like, well, we called a friend. It's like, yeah, you couldn't get enough people to come over, which is fair.
Speaks the language close enough.
Oh my
Mhm.
God, yo, the guy was killing it. Like I think I sent you his first goal. It was incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
I honestly forgot I was in Toronto for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
One, everybody's speaking Portuguese. Two, nobody's wearing TFC jerseys. Three, I was on the new stands, so it just did not feel like BMO Field at all. It was a crazy experience. I was definitely in the minority cheering for TFC's goals, even though I cheered for
Yep.
Toronto and Brazil's goals. My girlfriend, who is Portuguese, after the game goes, "Yeah, they were making fun of you the whole game." I'm like, "All right, like whatever." I'm having fun. Overall, it's just a lot of fun. Like Giovinco can definitely, you know, still go, but like besides that, nobody else could really stack up to Brazil, and this is 50-year-old men.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was
Yeah.
just a lot of
Yeah.
fun. I really did enjoy it.
Now, you mentioned how you're sitting in the new stands. That's obviously been a bit of a point of discussion for TFC fans and kind of football fans around the world. I know BMO Field or Toronto Stadium, or whatever it's called, was ranked very last, the very bottom of the list for stadiums heading into the World Cup. Does your opinion change? I know I've been to a few games where the stands haven't been used and they don't look great when you're walking around them, but how was the vibe when you were sitting there? How was the vibe in the game? It was the first time that we saw, obviously, Inter Miami. We'll get to, but how was it there? The first experience.
Yeah, so it was very janky when I first got there, because the way they pooled people in,
Yeah,
it was, I don't know how it was for you, Ethan, but for us, it was either your gate one or your gate
yeah,
three, and
bad.
it was just like, just a fucking, like, mountain of people going through these two gates. Luckily, my girlfriend loves to scurry her way to the front, so I was just, it only took us, I think, 5 minutes to get in, but if you're genuinely waiting, like, it's gonna take a while. Um, then you just kind of, as soon as you get in, you walk about 30 feet and then you go right up the stairs. It was interesting because everything was exposed. Like, as you guys will see as you go, all what it is just literally a black mesh tarp that's just hiding everything. And then it's zip tied to a pole. So it's like if you're scared of heights and shit like that, you're not gonna like going up there because again, everything exposed. Like you can like look to your left or look to your right, and it's just fucking poles and scaffolding and everything. Once you get up top though, it's it's all right because they obviously have to level it out with the rest of BMO's second level. But it's just wood like you know like those thin wood panels? That's what it feels like you're walking on. And then again going up to where our seats where we had to go up another set of stairs, and that was probably the worst part because excuse me, you're confined to probably about 7 feet of space, which is a staircase, and that's where it's just a black mesh tarps. But once you get up top to your seats, like it's fine. You don't see anything. You don't see any of the scaffolding. It just looks like a normal set of bleachers. But yeah, it was like again, like once we got up there, it was fine, no issues. Our seats were funny enough right beside the entrance to the staircase. So overall, I think as long as you're not afraid of heights, you're fine.
Yeah, I'll second that just with what Santia said. So for the Friday game, I was sitting in the north end in the 100 level, and then for the Miami game, I was sitting in the north end in the 200 level. So I kind of got both experiences. 100 level, super, super easy, not like anything. You just literally walk up a set of staircase, you go to your seat, you're there. The 200 level, I like what Santia was saying. It is definitely looks a little bit odd and a little janky as you're going, and definitely makes you a little bit nervous, but once you're in the seats, like it's totally fine. It feels like it just feels like you're in a stadium. Doesn't feel like it's anything weird or temporary or anything about it once you're actually in the seats. They had a lot of concessions and bathrooms and all that, so that was also good to see. And just another what's it called? Another point I do want to make just before we actually get into Miami game and about the whole stadium and everything like that. They need to figure out a better way to bring people into the stadium. Um,
Well,
oh yeah.
well, to that point, I do believe they are finishing up some construction.
Yeah,
So I think
yeah.
by the World Cup, I don't think that should be an issue. I think all the gates should be open from what I've read. So it might
Mhm.
just be like those two games that it affects, hopefully, because
Yeah.
yeah, I heard some bad
Yeah,
things about
getting
getting
in
in.
because you can't now instead of and for the Miami game, what they were doing is instead of actually checking your tickets at the gate, you had to basically walk around like a whole like fence kind of thing.
Mhm.
And then they were checking your tickets at that fence, and that's where all the security was and everything. So you're still like a good like whatever 400 meters from actual like BMO field when you have your ticket scanned and you go through security already. And then you're just kind of there. And the biggest problem with it is it's just such a tiny like little like slot to enter this like fencing area, and it's just people's galore getting in.
Bottleneck, yeah.
But yeah, and but then again, like I texted you guys, I was like, what the hell is going on? This is insane. But once you're through it, you're absolutely fine, and it's not like anything crazy. And another thing with the stadium is I will say, and for people crapping on BMO Field and all this and that, I was sitting pretty high up in that north end, and let me tell you, you're still pretty damn close to the pitch.
Mhm.
Like compared to all these stadiums in the US, like in, whatever MetLife Stadium and Arrowhead and this and that, where like if you're up at the top, you are miles away. Like we basically were like right on top of the corner flag, it felt like. And we were row 15 in the upper deck of the north end. Like, I don't know. I enjoyed it, so I think we'll be okay.
Yeah,
All right, well,
just to add on to that, yeah, like me and my girlfriend were row 11. We could see everything. There wasn't like any issues with seeing or anything. We didn't feel too far away. It was really good. The way they had the stand set up.
Mhm.
all right, yeah,
My
that's
question is, how do you guys think those stands will hold up to like everyone
They'll be
jumping?
fine. They'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
Given what I
Okay.
saw on Saturday in that crowd, and we'll get into that,
Okay.
they'll be fine.
Okay.
all
Because
right.
I'm
Well, that
thinking like certain countries, certain support
No,
groups are
trust
going to
me,
be jumping the
they'll be
whole
fine.
game.
They will be fine.
Okay.
all
Good to
right.
know.
That's a good segue away from the stadium into the Inter Miami game. So obviously, another loss for TFC. That's, I believe, 7 on the bounce that we haven't won a game. Tones, I'll go to you first here. What were your first impressions? Obviously, 4-2. It's obviously going to be tough with Messi coming into town, but what did you think of us going into that game? What were your feelings and then coming out of it?
I'll be honest, I knew we were cooked going into it just with these piling injuries. Whatever lineup was gonna that like of whatever they had, whatever lineup was gonna get put out there was just gonna get eaten alive. Like you can complain about how Inter Miami's built, but at the end of the day, those are the guys that they have, and those guys are just levels above what we have. We've put up decent performances against them before, like last season with a draw, I think,
Mhm.
or almost drew them. But that game, I don't know what it was. I feel like Messi was just feeding off that crowd. Finally got to start at the MO and played like the whole game, and he was just flying, man. He still looks great at his age. It's pretty surprising.
It's funny because you mentioned injuries, and I'm just watching Luis Suarez run around on that pitch, and I'm like, why can't whatever shots they're giving him before
No,
games to get through like
honestly,
it's like 70 minutes of it? Why can't we do that with all of our players? Because he can barely run, but he's still getting his goal in the 56th minute. Yeah, so I mean, it was a 4-2 score line, but Ethan, it wasn't really a 4-2 scoreline. Obviously,
not at
Emilio
all.
getting 2 late goals there, but by then 4-0 up for Miami. It was kind of done, wasn't it?
Uh, it was, and I will say this, and Robin Fraser, I will give you some credit for how you handled the post game because two Miami, or not, sorry, not two Miami goals. There were two calls that basically would have completely altered this scoreline had they been called correctly or had Miami done the correct thing. The first thing is on Miami's, I forget if it was their fourth goal or their third goal, but you
It
have
was,
Raheem
I believe,
Edwards.
Suarez's goal. So their
You
second.
Yeah,
have
Suarez's
Raheem
goal
Edwards
snuck
lying on the
behind.
pitch for like 2 minutes leading up to this. And again, you don't have to blow it dead. I'm not necessarily even complaining about that. But when you see a guy lying on the pitch like that and you're at your own end, the common courtesy is dead play. Like you kick the ball out, like that's just what you do. Miami decides to just come right in and listen, they're obviously a man up because Raheem is lying on the ground and they score. And that to me really pissed me off. I didn't like that at all. And then you also have the miss pen. I mean, or the
Hmm.
miss pen call. Those two go different ways. That's a 3-3 game. And, it sucks. It is what it is. Again, I don't know if that might be a Miami kind of thing or if it's just, missed calls here and there, but it sucks. It's the way it goes. And again, like as Tone said, when you're starting a squad that, let's be honest, is not anywhere close to what our best squad is, and you're playing against Miami's almost best 11 pretty much. It's the result you're going to get, and it is what it is.
Yeah, and going back to that Suarez goal, I mean, like smart by him to sneak behind the back
Mhm.
line, even though like the last man was down further back. So pretty veteran play by him.
Yep.
But it was such a clear foul on
Yep.
Edwards to begin with,
No.
Yep.
and they just don't call it. Like I can definitely see the favoritism, but at the same time, like MLS refs are also just not that good
Yeah.
either.
Because
Again,
VAR.
Any sort of CONCACAF, North American, or even South American CONMEBOL, all those refs they stink. Like there's times I'll complain about the European refs, but then I'll
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
like
There's
I'll
levels. Yeah,
watch
there's
the
levels. Yeah.
Gold Cup, Copa America, or like MLS,
it's
and I'm
very
like,
different.
So bad.
actually, these guys are bad. These guys
Mhm.
stink. The
Yeah.
Um,
VAR, all of it sucks.
now
Mhm.
Oh
I
God.
now I do want to bring up something that bothered me, and I get it. I'm not an idiot. I get it. But when you're playing a home game,
I,
you'd love for it to be a home game. Now, there's two parts to this conversation that I think we need to have. One from the fan base, I think we do need to do a bit better of a job getting behind the team that we're actually supposed to be supporting on match day. But the club itself didn't really do themselves any favors. I'm seeing half and half scarves. I'm seeing apparently Inter Miami
Yeah.
kits are being sold in BMO Field.
Wow.
What is going on? What is going on?
Wow.
Do you think that affected anything in terms of like
That's
how
all
the
I
way
care about.
Miami played, the way the ref, like just thinking, oh, maybe
I
did they think they were in Miami?
Yo, if I'm playing for TFC and I'm seeing that they're selling the opposition's jerseys, I'm leaving. I'm not fucking playing. I'm packing my bags and going home. I'm saying if you because that just shows me that you don't actually give a shit about what we do. You're just trying to make a profit. Dude, I don't care if it's Messi. I don't care if it's Suarez. We're in Toronto. Like fans are gonna be fans, whatever. They come, there's nothing you can necessarily do, but you're feeding fuel into the fire of, oh my God, Messi's here. Let's go for Inter Miami. Why? Why? I understand the World Cup because it's nation versus nation. But what are we doing? This is Inter Miami versus Toronto FC. This also isn't the first time that Messi's played here. This is what, his third year here now? What are we doing? Come
Santia,
on.
I
Yeah,
love
And
the
sorry,
fangirl glazing going
yeah.
on.
I
It's
and before we keep talking about this, Ethan, was that actually the case? Because I wasn't there, but I heard
okay,
I
yeah.
saw things on
So
Twitter, so I want to make sure
I'll
before we start roasting the club
one
here.
100%. So Santia, I love the fact that you brought up like the whole prioritizing of profit versus prioritizing a team and a home environment because I go to almost every single game and have been for years now. Ben, you know this, you do too. Like I went to the first ever Miami game as well, and it was sort of a similar type thing. What I don't or what makes me really mad is again, I'm totally fine with a bunch of people wanting to go see Messi. It's fucking Messi. It's one of the greatest athletes, period, of all time ever. I have no problem with a big crowd showing up and wanting to watch him. My biggest problem is how it turned into just a circus in terms of the way that the club promoted this, in terms of it wasn't, oh, come to TFC's biggest crowd ever. It was, no, come see Messi. Don't come support your team. They did sell half and half scarves. There were Inter Miami kits in the stadium being displayed. And you saw that this fed into the whole environment within the crowd where any time that this guy would even come close, it was just people like fawning and going crazy and screaming and again and the pitch invaders and everything like that. And it's just
oh
like
my God.
this is what really pisses me off is like this is I don't want to say this is my stadium, but like
Oh,
it
I get
felt
that.
like
I get
it, it,
that.
But it
it really
is.
felt like people invading your home. And
Yeah.
I it was the most loud I've been at a game in a long time because I was fighting against everybody. And like
Mhm.
Yeah.
that just shouldn't happen at a home game. And again, I have no problem with people wanting to watch Messi, but it's the fact that it turned into a circus and it's the fact that the club had such a hand in kind of building
They
that
promoted it.
environment.
Yeah, they fed
Yeah.
Exactly.
into
I
it.
think
And
I
and
think
that's what
this
really makes me mad.
this all kind of plays into the culture issue that we have right now at the club, and that has to do with things like conceding late and losing games like we have. But yeah, hopefully we can turn it around. I know we have two games before the World Cup. We're going on a 6-game road trip, starting with
Yes, sir.
Charlotte and Chicago before the World Cup starts. So hopefully we can get two good results heading into that. But one thing I also wanted to bring up was Jonathan Osorio made some comments about the pitch at BMO Field
Yeah.
and how it does need some work. Apparently, it's pretty bumpy, and he's not too pleased with it. Hoping that it's going to be better for the World Cup. So hopefully, we see that as well. What
I'll
I
say
did
else?
this
want
though,
Uh,
no.
to
So
add.
when
I did
you've
want to add something
oh,
with
yeah, go
the
ahead.
with the Inter Miami thing. Looking back at it, it might actually be a really good thing for Canada soccer that Italy did not qualify for the World Cup
Oh
because
yeah.
oh yeah.
can
Oh
we
my God.
imagine
Yeah.
how
Oh
bad
my
that
God.
would look
I mean,
the
I was
opener?
saying this at the time too. It's you knew what it was gonna be
Wow,
if that
like
happened. Yeah.
yeah, but I feel like after that like that Inter
Yeah.
Miami game, I think it really
Yeah.
showed it even more.
Yeah.
Just I, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like
No, that it would have been a really cool thing to experience if Italy were there, but I think it's better, like you said, for
It would have been a
Canadian
bit
soccer.
scarier. One
Yeah.
one
Yeah,
thing
no.
before we move on as well, just from Miami, I just want to say, 114, couple tifos that they put out.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
that I think we should just touch on.
Yeah.
They did the one that was rebuild is complete Pelly, or right Pelly, I forget exactly what it was, basically calling out Keith Pelly's comments saying they've completed a rebuild. And then they also unveiled one that has doesn't really mince words. Fraser out. So
I wonder what that means.
there is some rumblings in this fan base, and we'll see how that progresses.
I
Been
mean,
saying
that
it,
So I
man.
just want to
that
point
could
that
mean
out.
anything, really.
Really
Like
could. I don't
what
know.
really does that mean? Like Frazier out. Like really, what does that mean?
That they want him
Got to
sacked.
read between the lines, I guess.
Part
I,
of the reason why some of those tifos are up as well has to be mentioned. We have officially dropped out of a playoff spot.
Mhm.
We are at 14 points in 10th place. It's crazy how just it goes from a few weeks ago us going on a bit of a run there to winless in seven, and dropping down the table. Never something you want to see. In terms of on the player front, we have some news. Cifuentes, last we've seen of him in a TFC kit. It's been announced today. It's been taken off his Instagram bio, as we noticed earlier. Then the reports actually came out. So, but yeah, how we
Foundational player, as Keith Pelly called him.
yeah, that worked out well. How do we feel about Cifuentes leaving? Does it really shake things up too much? I know we have a bunch of players coming back from injury, hopefully soon, so we won't miss them. But are we are we upset? Are we really that bothered by it?
I mean,
I
like
think it almost. Oh, go ahead, Thomas.
it's not like the craziest player in the world, but I
Yeah.
just also think with the state of the team when it comes to the injuries and the depth, like you said, they're coming back soon.
But
Are they?
yeah.
And
I think
are
it
they
also
gonna stay healthy? Like, can we really afford to be shipping off a regular starter like that? I don't know.
This is
Let me
also
tell.
something that kind of points out the MLS schedule because Cifuentes was here technically on a season long loan, but obviously half of that loan, the MLS season isn't happening. So something that
Yeah.
might change, I guess, in the future with the MLS schedule change. Just something I guess interesting with that.
One
No.
thing that TFC at least has gotten right in the recent history is the exclusion, or what's the word I'm looking for, the kicking out of Insigne, because I just want to take a minute here to bring back Insigne into the conversation. Now you guys are probably like, why is he bringing up Insigne? Because
Oh,
my
I
boy
know
got
why.
relegated to Serie C.
Oh,
Pescara,
chill.
ciao,
That's my family's home.
ciao,
But gotta chill.
Way to end it off on some good
ciao.
news, man. Good. Thank you for bringing that
That's
up. I was going
fantastic.
to if nobody
Oh
did.
my! I saw that and I'm like, oh wow, that's fantastic.
I actually
Another quick.
on top of that, I have another thing I just seen. So our designated player salary towards Insigne and Bernadeschi used to be $21.6 million. Now to Mihailovic and Sargent, it's just 8 million. So
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
they've
Insigne
dropped their
himself was
wages
making
by
14, yeah.
yeah, they dropped the wages by 13 million compared to last year completely.
Yeah,
So
they
That's
21
can't
million
big.
send
total.
some
That's
of
big.
that to Rangers. But on the other side of that coin, Insigne getting relegated, Bernadeschi did just score last week for Bologna. I've been saying this. I would have kept him.
Burner's been good for
There's
Bologna,
not a chance I would have kept
but
him,
you
but I
had
do
to.
like him more. But I do like him
You had
more.
to get rid of both.
Yeah,
Now
of course.
we do have a few minutes left here. I do want to mention as well. A weird thing coming out of Minnesota. James Rodriguez's time at Minnesota is officially done. I guess it was maybe
Damn.
always supposed to be just a short spell before the World Cup. There's rumors of him retiring after the World Cup finishes, but only 6 appearances with Minnesota, and now it's time to say goodbye to James. So shout out James. Before
Yep.
we wrap
Shout
this,
Oh,
out.
before or
Ben, I
as
don't
my
know if
dad
you're going to
likes,
mention this. There's one quick thing too with the Whitecaps that we should probably mention as well. I don't
oh
know
yeah,
if you guys saw that. Just quickly before we wrap up. So a Montreal radio reporter, I believe is who it was, basically put out a report yesterday saying that MLS teams have now been informed that the Vancouver Whitecaps will be moving to Las Vegas.
Wow.
Again, this isn't official. This isn't anything that has fully happened, but it is a report from who apparently is a trustworthy source in the soccer world, people say. I can't confirm or deny. So it does sound like this is progressing towards the Vancouver Whitecaps being relocated. We'll see what happens as the summer goes on. Not good news for them.
Just one last cry out to Ryan Reynolds. Please, Ryan. Please. Ryan, Rob, please use some of that Wrexham fund. Yeah, that's
They
sad
did
if that
sell
does
a
happen.
minority. He did sell a minority stake
So
of
you got
Wrexham. So
cash. You got cash. Recycle the cash.
It
Yo,
seems he's
go
more
do
interested in bringing a baseball team to Vancouver.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
go
We'll
make
see what
another
happens.
Deadpool. Come on.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we'll see what happens.
please don't.
We'll see what happens there. Obviously, hopefully that doesn't happen as Canadian soccer fans. But yeah, we've got a minute left here. We got a prop that I want to bring out. This one's kind of cool. So every year, Offside Boys goes to the Northern Soccer Card Expo. And every time I go, I'm not a big card guy, but every time I go, I try and pick something up. And this year, I got myself a signed Josie Altidore
Ooh, very
MLS
nice.
30th edition, 9 out of 10 PSA. I know nothing about cards, but
damn.
apparently that's
That's a
pretty
good
That's
good.
actually a
grade.
really good card. Yeah.
And it is numbered 55 out of 99. So that's
Oh,
got to be
wow.
good as well.
Wow.
That's
So
that's pretty
shout out
limited.
Josie.
Nice.
Shout out Josie the
Nice.
GOAT. But yeah, that's all we have for today. That's been our review of the Toronto FC Inter Miami game and a bunch of other stuff. We will be back probably next one with maybe more of a Canada soccer themed one. We have a few ideas cooking. But yeah, that's been episode 20 of the Boys on the Field podcast. I've been Ben Griffith, joined by Anthony Santia, Anthony Lancione, and Ethan Gabor. Sponsored by Offside Boys. Go get some retro kits on Instagram. We're also on TikTok and Twitter a little bit as well. And yeah, make sure to stay offside, and hope you guys enjoyed.
Get your Canada gear. Let's go.
See ya.
Month out, baby.